Good morning, students. Hope all of you have enjoyed the festival of Raksha Bandhan. So, beta, in previous lecture, we discussed about the topic, is it good to have political competition? So, beta, today we will discuss the topic, the electoral constituencies. Now, the first thing, what do we mean by electoral constituencies? But in our country, we follow an area based on system of representation. As you know that our country is divided in small area, and these different areas are divided for the purposes of elections, and these areas are called electoral constituencies. And the voters who live in an area elect one representative. Like for Lok Sabha elections, the country is divided into 543 constituency, and for Vidhan Sabha election, our state Haryana, it is divided in 90 constituencies. And the representative elected from each constituency is called a member of parliament or MP. And very important feature of a democratic election is that every vote should have equal value. That is why constitution requires that each constituency should have a roughly equal population living within it. It means approximately in every constituency equal population is there. And even each state is divided into a specific number of assembly constituencies, and the elected representative is called the member of legislative assembly or MLA. Each parliamentary constituency has within its several assembly constituencies, and even the same principle applies on the panchayat and municipal elections also. Like your city is divided in the wards, so those are also the constituencies. Each ward elects one member of the village or the urban local body, and even sometime we call, in general language, we call these constituencies as seats also. And for each constituency represent one seat in the assembly. Like if we speak that Lokdal won 60 seats in Haryana, it means that candidate of Lokdal, they won 60 assembly constituencies. Or we can say that Lokdal had 60 MLAs in the state assembly. So this way also we can interpret. Right? Now the next topic is the reserved constituencies. Reserved constituency, like it is very clear with its name, reserved. It means some constituencies, those are reserved for some few persons. So those are known as reserved constituencies. Our constitution entitles every citizen to elect his representative and to be elected as a representative. Now, as we know that the constitution makers, they were worried that in an open electoral competition, certain weaker section may not stand a good chance to get elected to the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies, because as you know, at the time of independence, our country was divided on the basis of caste system. So that is why the constitution maker, they were worried about that. Means few categories of the population, they will not be adequately represent in the election, because they may not have the required resources, education and context to contest and win the election. And even as you know that those who are influential and resourceful may prevent them from winning election. If that happens, our parliament and assembly would be deprived of the voice of the significant section of our population. So this way, if so many categories, they will not be representative in the election, then that would make our democracy less representative and less democratic. So this was the reason the makers of our constitution, they thought of a special system of reserved constituencies for the weaker section. Some constituencies are reserved for people who belong to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. In a scheduled caste, reserved constituency, only the person who belong to the scheduled caste, they can contest an election. And in the same way, if any constituency is reserved for scheduled tribes, then the contested must belong to the scheduled tribe community. Like at present in Lok Sabha, 84 seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and 47 seats are reserved for the scheduled tribes. This number is fixed in the proportion to their share in the total population, so that every category should be represented equally in the election. This system of reservation was extended later to other weaker sections at the district and local level. In many states, seats in rural and urban local bodies are now reserved for OBCs also, other backward classes, and even the proportion of seats are reserved for the women also. Like 1/3 of the seats are reserved in rural and urban local bodies for women candidates. So this way beta, this system of reserved constituencies was enforced. Now beta, now the constituencies, as we know that in this chapter we are studying about the procedure of election. So now the constituencies are fixed. Now the next topic is the preparation of voters list. But once the constituencies are decided, the next step is to decide who can and who cannot vote. This decision cannot be left to anyone till the polling day. In a democratic election, the list of those people who are eligible to vote is prepared much before the election and given to everyone. This list is officially called the electoral roll and is commonly known as the voters list. This is the very important step because it is linked to the first condition of a democratic election. Everyone should get an equal opportunity to choose representative. In practice, it means that everyone should have one vote and each vote should have equal value. It means while making this, universal adult franchise is followed and no one should be denied the right to vote without a good reason. Different citizens differ from any other in many ways. One another, they differ in many ways. Some are rich, some are poor, some are highly educated, and some are not educated at all. But all of them are human beings with their own needs. That is why all of them deserve to have an equal say in decisions that affect them. That is why the equal right to vote is given to everyone. In our country, all the citizens aged 18 years and above can vote in an election. Every citizen has the right to vote regardless of his or her caste, religion or gender. It means every person will have the right to vote without any kind of discrimination. Some criminals and persons with unsound mind can be denied the right to vote because they are the culprits. This is the reason. And the people of unsound mind, they are not able to cast their vote. Right? Beta, if you will see this page, you can see here beta different seats. Like we know 543 Lok Sabha seats are there in India. And out of these, general seats are 412. Right? And reserved seats are 84 for scheduled caste, and for scheduled tribe it is 47. And now state wise the constituencies are given, like Andhra Pradesh 25, Arunachal Pradesh 2, this way. Distribution of constituency is also given on this page, and of the union territories also. Now, as I was telling you that the person, criminals or person with unsound mind, they can be denied the right to vote, but only in rare situations. It is the responsibility of the government to get the names of all the eligible voters put on the voters list. As new person attain voting age, names are added in the voter list, and name of those who moved out of a place or those who are dead, they are deleted from the voter list. Same way, like if in your class any new admission is there, their name will be added in the attendance register, and if anybody has left the school, that name will be deleted from the register. The same procedure is followed in the voter list. And why this is done, addition and deletion? Because a complete revision of the list takes place every 5 years. This is done to ensure that it remains up to date. And in the last few years, the new system is also introduced, that is known as the election photo identity card. And the government has tried to give this card to every person on the voters list, and the voters are required to carry this card when they go out to vote. It means now no one can vote for someone else. But the card is not yet compulsory for voting, and the voters can show many other proofs of identity like the ration card or the driving license also, but they need to carry an ID and identity proof with them before casting their vote. So beta, this was the topic about the voters list and the reserved constituencies. Hope all of you have understood the topic. Thank you and have a nice day.